This message is on the winning attitude of a positive self-image. You know, all winners in life develop and actively think about a positive self-image. Winners see the act of winning before it ever happens. Winners act like winners, imagining with pictures, feelings, and words the roles they want to play. They give themselves a preview of coming attractions. What you see is what you get, and who you feel like is who you really are. You know, it's not what you are that holds you back. It's what you think you're not. You see, individuals behave not in accordance with reality, but in accordance with their perception of reality. How the individual feels about himself or herself is everything. For all that he or she ever does, or ever aspires to do in life, will be based on that all-important self-concept. I had the good fortune of spending time with the late Dr. Maxwell Maltz, the plastic surgeon and author of the classic best-selling book, Psycho-Cybernetics. Dr. Maltz said that the most important psychological discovery of this century has been the discovery of the self-image. In his book, he described one of his patients who'd come to him with a large, unattractive hooked nose. She, of course, wanted him to perform a rhinoplasty surgical procedure, which we commonly refer to as a nose job. Dr. Maltz operated, and the result was a perfectly shaped nose. With the swelling having subsided and the bandages removed, she stood appraising herself in front of a mirror. Dr. Maltz happily inquired, "How do you like your new beautiful self?" She replied coldly, "You know, I don't see much improvement. I still feel ugly." You see, she had grown to consider herself ugly for nearly 30 years, and though her appearance was altered dramatically, her self-image was stuck at the low self-esteem setting after years of conditioning. You know, we've developed a self-image concerning every talent, every characteristic, and every performance. Images we express like, "I'm a lousy cook. You know, I can't boil an egg. I'm a good dancer. I have a great sense of humor. I'm a true Leo. I'm a born loser." Each of us is controlled by these mental pictures that we form. We can't outgrow these limits we place on ourselves. We can only set new limits within which we must live. Our self-image determines the kind and scope of person we are in every walk of life. It is our life-controlling mechanism. Our self-image dwells at the subconscious level of thinking, and although the term subconscious mind has been used often inaccurately by non-professional people, it is much more correct to think of it not as a mind, but rather a level of awareness with very special characteristics and abilities. Let's imagine two levels of thinking and simplify them with titles such as the judge and the robot. The judge is the conscious level of thinking, responsible for collecting information from the environment, storing it in the memory cells, and making rational decisions. And the robot is the subconscious level of thinking, responsible for autonomic body control, such as breathing and heartbeat, and the storage of information and creative goal-seeking. This subconscious activity can be compared to a robot autopilot, like that on an aircraft or a space vehicle, or a homing torpedo, which can be programmed in advance to seek a target, making onboard course corrections on the way. They are guided by highly sophisticated systems that seek the target unerringly through the use of continual feedback. The human brain operates in much the same way, but is far more marvelous and complex than any system man or woman could ever invent. Let's look at the relationship of the conscious judge level and the subconscious robot level of thinking. You know, the judge can't make a decision until clearing it with the robot. The robot checks its memory bank, which includes the self-image, and then replays available data back to the judge for action. It would seem natural that your judge would control your robot in kind of a master-slave relationship. But incredibly, just the reverse is true. The subconscious robot controls the conscious judge level of thinking, and action frequently takes place without consultation with the judge. But no action ever takes place without reference to the robot. Do you view your self-image as your life handicap, or is it your achievement mechanism? Are you a lifetime slave to your robot? The answer, of course, is no, that you are taking control. because there is no escape from the self-image. Winners dwell on and hold the self-image of that person they would most like to become. They know their little robots can't tell the difference between the real me and the one I see, so they see themselves standing in the winner's circle. They hear the approval of the crowd. They smell the roses in the rose bowl, and they relish the self-esteem resulting from their personal achievement in advance. Because winners feel like winners. Winners see through the eyes of winners. What do you see for you today? Who will you be tomorrow? Think win with a positive self-image.